You are onto a special edition of Power Wheel, and we are at the Powerhouse, hosting the corporate headquarters of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, in Abuja. As the first half of this year, 2019, ends, the Transmission Company of Nigeria has stories to tell on the giant strides it is making to increase infrastructure for bulk power transmission nationwide, in line with its Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program, TREP. This documentary features the critical areas TCN has created impact in the first 6 months of the year under review. Stick with us on this and more from the power sector. I am Onyema Iketubosin. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, began the year with the resolve to add more transformer and substation capacity to the transmission grid in a very short time. Within the first 2 months, 6 transmission substations were commissioned and over 5,000 megavolt amps of bulk power transformers were added. Our correspondent tells us more.
The commissioning began with a 60 MVA transformer at the Katsina substation in Katsina town, the state capital. The managing director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, during the commissioning ceremony, said the project was a critical part of TREP.
We are happy to be here in Katsina to commission the 1x60 MVA that we installed when we came into TCN.
It has made available more bulk electricity for Kano Electricity Distribution Company, KEDCO, to supply to its customers within the environs. The 60 MVA transformer was commissioned by Governor Aminu Bello Masari. Still in Katsina, TCN commissioned a brand new 2x40 MVA transformer capacity substation in Daura town. The Daura substation has 6 units of 33 kV feeders. In Kano, TCN commissioned a 60 MVA transformer at the 132 33 kV Dangundi substation in the metropolis and a 40 MVA transmission capacity substation in Woodhill town. During the commissioning of the 40 MVA Woodhill substation, Mr. Mohammed said the project was abandoned for 9 years. The new Woodhill substation has a complementary 3 units of 33 kV feeder cycled breakers to improve power supply in 7 local government areas of the state.
This substation was awarded more than 9 years ago. Unfortunately, the contract lingered on. We took over and we completed it within a record period of about 2 months. Your Excellency, what we spend in completing this substation is less than 10% of what the contractor was demanding.
The formal commissioning of the 60 MVA transformer at the 132 33 kV Dangundi substation in Dangundi municipal local government of the state was officiated by the Emir of Kano, His Royal Highness Muhammadu Sanusi II, and supported by the head transmission service provider TSP of TCN, Engineer Victor Adeumi. Continuing the spree of project commissioning, the Transmission Company of Nigeria commissioned 2x60 MVA power transformers at the 132 33 kV transmission substation in Suleja area of Niger State. TCN boss Usman Gur Mohammed said it has improved bulk power and should translate to more power supply experience for electricity users across 13 towns in Niger and other towns in Kaduna State.
In February 2019, TCN focused more on the commissioning of transmission substations, which it did across 4 states. 2 substations were commissioned in the northeast, 1 in Lagos and another in Kebbi State, to wheel additional bulk electricity to improve the experience of customers of the respective discos.
The former Minister of Power Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, commissioned the brand new 30 MVA transmission substation within the 132 33 kilovolt segment of power transmission at Ilashe Island in Lagos State. The island had never been connected to the national grid until the substation was commissioned by TCN.
By connecting Ilashe today, President Muhammadu Buhari sends a clear message to this part of the country that no rural community will be forgotten.
resident of Yauri Emirate in Kebbi State, finally got relief when the management and staff of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, arrived Yauri town to commission a 2x40 MVA transformer, 132 33 kilovolts transmission substation in February 2019. Former Minister of Environment Hassan Suleiman Zarma was on ground to commission the 330, 132, 33 kV Damaturu substation in Yobe State. The project has improved the high voltage wheeling capacity of TCN to better serve Yola Electricity Distribution Company, YEDC.
This substation project began in 2006 when the contract was awarded to Cadillac International Engineering, but due to non-performance and delay in implementation, TCN took over the project and completed it in August 2018. After the installation had been completed, the 150 MVA transformer and 75 MVAR reactor were energized on the 13th September 2018, while the 60 MVA 132x33 kV transformer was put to service on 3rd October 2018.
In Borno State, TCN unveiled another brand new 330, 132, 33 kV transmission substation in Mole area of Maiduguri, Borno State. The former Minister of State for Power, Works and Housing, Mustapha Babashauri, commissioned the facility. He said,
"The commissioning of this substation could not have been at a better time, taking into consideration the increase in generation to more than 7,000 megawatt, transmission to over 8,000 megawatts, and the federal government plans to reach 20,000 megawatts in the next few years through the ongoing transmission rehabilitation and expansion program. I am happy, ladies and gentlemen, to commend the initiative of new TCN management for its tenacity in ensuring that it continues to strive to ensure that it scales all out to ensure that projects are completed and energized."
The management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, also commended the in-house engineers of the company for the repairs of a 150 MVA transformer at the 330, 132 kV Kombotso substation in Kano. Mr. Mohammed, who visited the substation, enjoined them to build more capacity so they can take up and handle transmission projects nationwide.
If we recommend people who are performing, we expect them to recommend people who are performing also, because we can't know everybody. We know those people who are performing. So all of you, I want to tell you that we thank you, and all those people that are involved here, we are going to give you letter of recommendation. And I also want to tell you that all of you will find a way of compensating you.
In the month of March, the Transmission Company of Nigeria management, led by the Managing Director CEO, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, focused on capacity building and training for its staff, and also held various meetings with critical stakeholders towards steering its program. Here are the top events.
TCN in-house engineers in this month repaired a 60 MVA transformer at the 132 33 kV transmission substation in Karu, Abuja. The Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, was on ground for the first-hand assessment of the transformer repair works. He said,
"I can tell you this method that we are doing is significantly helping us reduce our cost. And it's also helping the engineers to practice what they are known for, to practice the engineering. This was not happening when Manitoba Hydro was here. So this is part of what we are doing to empower Nigerians because some of those people that are here now, even if they leave TCN today, they will not be jobless."
Away from this, officials of TCN and experts from AFD, the French Development Agency, met on achieving the Environmental and Social Impact Assessment (ESIA) document milestone for the execution of key transmission projects to be funded by the agency. The critical project in focus was the Abuja Transmission Ring project that seeks to add 6 new substations in the capital city. The head transmission service provider TSP at TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, who represented the managing director CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, said,
"Everything about the Abuja project is almost concluded. And the Northern Corridor 2 now, we are making serious progress. TCN is grateful for this. This is under mission, and we believe that after this mission, this Northern Corridor will have equally reached a very advanced stage of the project. So, on behalf of MD TCN, I want to declare this program open."
Also, in March 2019, the management said work was ongoing for the construction of a second 330 kV transmission line that will carry bulk electricity to Akure from Osogbo and transmit up to Benin City. The MD CEO of TCN, Mr. Mohammed, said this when he received the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Mr. Agboola Ajayi, who was on a courtesy visit to the TCN corporate headquarters in Abuja. He said,
"The 330 kV substation in Akure is completed. The challenge we have is that the line to bring the supply is what we are on. I can tell you that 330 kV substation which I visited is one of the best construction I've seen in this country. It was well done."
The Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Mr. Agboola Ajayi, commended the TCN management team for the giant stride it is taking on delivering transmission infrastructure.
We will collaborate with you to say that we protect your property, your facility. We protect them very well. Here are 1 or 2 crises in terms of power line, distance and that. I can assure you that. Please bring it to our notice and we will intervene and make sure that we resolve the matter amicably.
The moderate national grid frequency, which TCN achieved since December 2018, was sustained throughout. As Mr. Mohammed said, the company was targeting much more than that for Nigeria to have the best frequency in West Africa. At the 11th Bola Tinubu colloquium to mark the birthday of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu in Abuja, Mr. Mohammed said,
"When this government took over power, capacity of the grid was only 4,000 megawatts. The capacity of distribution was only about 3,500. And the capacity of transmission was about 4,000. The capacity of the grid has been expanded to 8,100. The capacity of generation was 7,500. And if you look at the last combined peak, which took place in February this year, the capacity of the distribution has also expanded to 5,375, which means we have moved."
In April 2019, TCN carried out groundbreaking
for the Abuja Feeding Scheme project that will add 5 substations in the capital city to raise transmission capacity by 624 megawatts in the Federal Capital Territory.
At the groundbreaking ceremony in Dawaki part of Abuja, the Permanent Secretary Power in the Federal Ministry of Power Works and Housing, Mr. Louis Edozin, said,
"We in the ministry are very gratified that the contractors who are partnering with TCN and government on this project are first class."
The project, worth $170 million, is being funded by the French Development Agency, AFD, with a maximum completion timeline of 24 months. TCN boss Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed said the scheme, comprising 2 330 kV substations and 3 132 kV substations, will solve the bulk power wheeling supply issues in the FCT. The TCN in-house engineers demonstrated their capacity again when they installed a 60 MVA transformer at Kubwa substation in Abuja. The principal manager transmission at the Abuja sub-region of TCN, Engineer Musa Shuaibu said,
we're able to couple everything now. Now the protection group, the TCN group, are going to do their wiring. Then after the wiring, we are going to now vacuum, then start filtration, then the pre-commissioning test will come up.
Determined to spread the completion of transmission projects across states, the managing team of TCN in May 2019 paid a courtesy visit to the Anambra State Governor, Chief Willie Obiano in Awka. The discussion was centered on collaborative efforts that would enable TCN to complete ongoing transmission projects in the state. The managing director of TCN, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, lauded Governor Obiano's effort to partner with TCN on transmission projects, saying the federal government alone cannot do that.
We decided to collaborate with states because of the right of way. Because states are the owners of land, actually. It's not federal government does not own land. And we collaborated with some other states.
Responding, Governor Obiano assured TCN of the state support to ensure issues of right-of-ways were addressed. He said he has set up a committee that will make the issues of right-of-way much easier for the TCN projects in the state.
Again, they need power, not in the manner they are generating it now to be able to do so. So this auxiliary substation that will power the north is very critical. So it should be brought up on the radar, so that we pay attention to that. Whatever it takes, we'll be willing to do so.
Similarly, Mr. Mohammed visited the Kano State Governor, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, for collaboration that will ensure TCN solve transmission issues around Kano State to boost industrialization in the state. Mr. Mohammed, who addressed the governor at the State Liaison Office in Abuja, presented some needs of TCN to the state government. He further sought the collaboration of the state government to help TCN build a substation in Bichi area of Kano.
In that arrangement, TCN will do the electromechanical work, while the state government will do the civil work. Okay. We did the same thing with Akwa Ibom state government, under which we put 132 kV substation in Ikem. The job that normally takes about 6 months, we are able to complete it in 6 months. I mean, it takes 2 years. We are able to complete it in 2 months, in 6 months. Currently, we are doing the same kind of collaboration in Anambra State with the Anambra State government to build up a place they call GMC, this General Cotton Mill substation. That's what we are doing. So we also believe that we can do the same thing for Kano, sir, with their support and collaboration, sir.
Responding, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State, who accepted to collaborate with TCN on the projects, said,
"You send your person on the ground, focal person, so that we can discuss."
We put them in writing, sir.
Yeah.
To you, sir.
Okay. So that I connect them with officials so that they can work it out, including the access road. We are talking about will work.
TCN earlier commissioned the first phase of 60 MVA AKM transmission substation in Akwa Ibom State. It also deployed reactors to Ekot Ekpene, Apir, and Jos substations to stabilize bulk power voltage on the transmission line from the Ekot Ekpene substation from Ugwaji in Enugu to Apir in Makodi and Jos. Speaking on the Ikem substation, which was handled by the in-house staff of TCN, the General Manager Port Harcourt Region, Engineer Solomon Uyo Uko, spoke about the brand new 132-33 kV substation.
This is a collaborative effort between the state government, that's Akwa Ibom State Government, and Transmission Company of Nigeria. There is a memorandum of understanding for the state government to provide all the civil works. The state government also acquired the land, provided all the civil works, the foundation, everything, including the control building by the state government. Whereas the Transmission Company of Nigeria provide all the electromechanical equipment, the switch gears, the transformer you are seeing here. The installation is done in-house.
On the international scene, the Chairman Executive Board of the West African Power Pool, WAP, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, in June inaugurated the implementation team for the North Core Transmission Project that seeks to connect 4 countries for increased power evacuation from Nigeria. In preparation towards the successful installation of the Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition SCADA system to modernize the power transmission grid for remote monitoring capacity, TCN recently launched the procurement of fiber optics for the critical transmission lines across the country. As the month of June drew to a close, market operations take on defaulters of the electricity market rule. It directed the suspension of Enugu Disco and other discos from the national grid for failing to post security cover for energy wheeling services in line with extant rules. Mr. Edmond AJ of Market Operations spoke more about this.
The distribution companies were mandated by the rule to make security deposits, which we call security cover, in the market. And this security cover is 3 times average of their monthly invoice. In other words, 3 times value of the invoice is secured, is kept with a bank. And this is confirmed with the market operation that this is where you will have recourse, assuming a disco pays its invoice at the end of the month and it is not complete. Section of the distribution network can be disconnected. That is as a temporal punishment, so that they will feel it and rush to do the needful. And that's what we are trying to do.
Summing up these achievements, come with me to see the Managing Director of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed. He speaks on the plans for the next half of 2019.
In the last 6 months, I can tell you so many things has happened, because you are referring to from January 2019 to date. If you remember, we enforced the next level of frequency control from 23rd of December 2018. So throughout the period from that time to May 5, 2019, we achieved frequency control of 49.80 and 50.2 Hz. This is the best frequency control that have ever been achieved in the history of the power sector. Now, within this period also, I want to tell you that we have commissioned so many substations. We will continue to implement our projects. We are pushing, there are some of the projects that are slow. So we are pushing them, like the aspect that's being implemented by the World Bank is the slowest of all the projects that we have. Incidentally, is the project that is brownfield. Brownfield project means that you don't have requirements, stringent requirements for environmental issues, but it's the slowest. So we have actually written to Ministry of Finance to convene a meeting on how we can see we can fast track the project. We are also working to ensure that some of the few generators that are now providing frequency control, will compel them to provide, so that we can move to the next level of frequency regime. We want to be the best utility that has the best utility in West Africa in terms of frequency control.
That is it on this edition. We hope you followed through on the reports as we bring you another edition of your favorite Power Wheel next week. This episode and the previous ones are available on our YouTube channel, while you can connect with us on these other platforms showing on your screen. I am Onyema Iketubosen. Have a good time.